Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and I'm sorry that I haven't posted in a while. I've been super busy. This video is going to be called my top 5 favorite books. I also incorporated some series in here, but I picked my favorite book out of the series. So let's get right to it. Okay, so my first favorite series is Percy Jackson by Rick Riordan. My favorite book out of that whole series, this was really hard to choose because I liked all of them. They were all super good, was The Battle of the Labyrinth. This was because the action scenes were awesome. Like, there was action throughout the whole book. There is also action a lot in all the other books. Like, there's a ton of action and drama scenes because Rick Riordan is perfect at doing these scenes, and he just, every chapter there's something that happens, like action. I'm like, gasp. Okay, so this is my favorite book because of the action, and I was like sitting on the edge of my seat like the whole book because it was like so intense. So this book is about how Percy Jackson, he gets kicked out of schools a lot. That's because of all the monsters he has to fight, and he leaves school for like a week or two and stuff, and he gets behind. He just gets expelled. He even blew up his school once. So he's on an orientation tour for a new school, and that's when disaster strikes. Okay, so the Battle of the Labyrinth. In the title, there's the labyrinth. So he goes to Camp Half-Blood. That's where his camp is. The Greeks, all the Greek demigods go there. That's where they live, pretty much. So he learns about the labyrinth there from Chiron, which is a centaur. If I said that right. I'm sorry. I'm not good at pronouncing Greek names because they're so long and stuff. So yeah. The maze is designed by Daedalus. So this is important. Annabeth has to lead the quest. She gets chosen to lead it, and she is just intrigued by Daedalus and the labyrinth and how everything works and how it is, because the labyrinth is constantly growing and moving. Like, you could be somewhere and then the next you're like somewhere else, and it's just like, whoa, where am I? So yeah, it's really confusing. It's like a huge maze that keeps growing and growing, and you're just like, haven't I been here? Wait, this is new. Holy crap. Yeah, it's just so big that they can't find where they're going. So then Percy knows a friend named Rachel, haha, my name, but it's spelled differently, and she's immortal. She can see through the mist, so she can see a direct path of where Daedalus is. And that's what helps them throughout the whole maze, because she's there helping. The friends have to fight monsters, they have to free prisoners, solve riddles, and succeed in challenges to find Daedalus. So this maze is a huge maze, and they have to find Daedalus throughout it. Percy becomes separated from the rest of them because he is battling on a mountain, and he goes to Calypso's island. Calypso is this beautiful woman who is immortal. She cannot leave the island though. So Percy has to either stay with her on the Paradise Island, like there's everything there, fruit, and she's like a perfect wife, kinda, like how they set it up like that, and he has to decide to finish the quest, or he can stay with Calypso. So he chooses to finish the quest. So he leaves the island, and then Rachel and them are going through the maze. But then Grover, he is Percy's friend. He is a satyr. So that means he has like satyr legs, but he's human up top and stuff, like furry legs. And he has to find Pan. Pan is like the head of the satyrs, kind of. He's like the guardian of the forest, I guess, if you would like to call it that. And he has to find Pan to see if he exists or not. If he doesn't, he loses his job. So the friends find Pan, but Pan does not want to live anymore, so he breathes his existence into everyone that's standing in the room except Nico, because he's the son of Hades. So he breathes his existence, and that's where Luke's army, I forgot to mention Luke's army, whoopsie, he is trying to use the labyrinth to get into Camp Half-Blood, because he wants to get his revenge. So he actually makes it through the labyrinth with his army, and he gets into Camp Half-Blood. That's where a huge huge fight goes on, but you'll have to read the book to find out what happens next. Also, Daedalus ends up dying because he doesn't want to live anymore, which closes the labyrinth forever. So that's why he died, so that way the labyrinth would no longer exist. My next favorite series is The Hunger Games. So there's 3 books: Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay. I haven't read Mockingjay yet, but I checked it out of the library, so I will in the near future. So my favorite out of all of those was Hunger Games, which is the first book of the series. This is because it was so intriguing to figure out who was going to end up alive at the end during the arena fight. Also, it kept me thinking all the way through. I was always thinking about what's going to happen next. Oh my gosh, that's crazy, and stuff like that. I did a project on this book for school because it was a dystopian novel. If you don't know what dystopian means, it means like something bad or controlling. So there are some characteristics in this book that make this novel dystopian, like the citizens are under constant surveillance, the government has complete control, and citizens are scared to come out of their houses at some points in the book because of their rebellion. Anyways, I'm going to give you a summary about the Hunger Games, and the first thing I like to say is that Katniss and Prim's dad died in a mine accident a long time ago. So Katniss, being the oldest, has to like provide for her family because her mother was in complete denial and withdrawal, and her mom didn't do anything for their family. So Katniss had to hunt, get food, cook, clean, do everything around the house because her mom could not handle it. So the day of the reaping, Prim gets called to compete in the Hunger Games. So, being the older sister and trying to protect her family, Katniss volunteers herself to go to her arena because she thinks she has a better chance than Prim because she is an excellent archer and she likes to go hunting with her best friend Gale. I think she likes him, but I'm just going to say that they're like friends because they do kiss a little, but they're not really a dating relationship. So, Katniss and the Peeta, the other main character, have to fight in the arena of the Hunger Games. This is because the government made this rule because they have complete control. So 2 people, a boy and a girl from all the 12 districts, have to get sent to an arena to fight in a Hunger Games. They have to fight to the death, and it's televised across the country. Isn't that sick? That's why this is dystopian, because that is just sick. There can only be one winner, so out of all those people that are fighting, only one can be the winner. Peeta, my bad, and Katniss become good friends throughout the book, even though they know they have to kill each other in the end. They're willing to sacrifice, like, Peeta's like, I want her to survive. So if it comes down to it and I die, that's okay. I just want her to be the crowned winner. If you win, you get fame and fortune. You get a ton of money and stuff. And since they live in District 12, they don't have very much. They're kind of poor. So if Katniss wins this, she can like save her district a little, I guess. So, yeah. The contestants have to train at their arena with the help of Effie and Haymitch, who are their advisors. Haymitch won the Hunger Games a while back, and he is now their like advisor. He tells them what to do, like what would be the best to win, because he wants them to win. So they get taken to the arena. Now this is the scary part, kinda. Katniss meets a little girl named Rue, who's like 12 in the arena, and that reminds her of Prim. So she wants to protect and save this little girl, and she doesn't want her to get killed. So they like trade off food, and Rue kind of saves her life in the arena. So that's a good part. Except Rue ends up dying because of the stupid careers. Those are the people in District 1, 2, or 3 that are more well-fit, well-fed, and well-trained. They are like stronger than everyone, and they aren't as smart, but they are stronger, so they have more chances of winning. In this story, Peeta loves Katniss. He's in love with her, but Katniss doesn't know that until the end when he tells her. But they act like they're in love during the whole game, so that way one of them could end up surviving. They could get like some supplies from the people that are watching, because there are sponsors, that's what they're called, that can send you supplies down in the arena that can like save your life. Like if you're starving or need medicine, they can send you food or medicine. So they act like they're in love, so that way they can try to defy the Capitol. I'm not going to tell you what happens in the end. You just have to read the book to find out. And you'll have to see if one of them survives or maybe both of them survive. Who knows? I'm not going to tell you. So my next favorite series is The Selection. I like the first book out of the whole series the best, and that's because who doesn't love a good romance story? They're all about the romance because they have the same plot, but I just like this book better because it's the start of the series. Also, there are rebel attacks in the book which just like interest you to keep reading. Like if someone could die, like one of the royals might die or something, so you want to keep reading to see what happens. So, in the book, 35 girls are chosen at random to compete for the crown and marry Prince Maxen Shreves. That is because it is their law that they have to have a selection every year so he could find a woman to marry. I guess it's easier. So they choose 35 girls and he has to choose one out of all those 35 girls to marry. It's kind of weird. I mean, what if you don't like any of them? I guess you're kind of screwed then. So, in the story, America Singer, she is from a lower caste. I don't know if that's how you say it, but she's kind of poor, and so is her boyfriend. I guess they're dating, Aspen Leger, and he pressures her to compete into the selection. She doesn't want to. She has no interest of becoming queen or getting the crown or marrying a prince or being in a castle. She's just kind of like a tomboy too. So she doesn't like dresses or jewels or anything. So she's like, I don't want to. But Aspen's like, you should. Like, it'll help your family and we can always be together after. And I'm like, how? You're going to be marrying a prince. So I don't know why. Actually, they break up a few days later. Like, no surprise there, guys. Also, so she enters her name in the competition and ends up winning. So she is one out of the 35 women to get sent to the castle to be chosen by Prince Maxen to be married. So she has no interest whatsoever. She doesn't want the prince to like her at all. But they develop a special bond and she starts to like him more and more. And the other girls in the book that are competing are kind of snobby. She makes one friend in the selection, the girls. She just doesn't really have any interest of having the crown or anything. So she does not really like it there at all at the castle. They have good food. That's what she likes the best because she isn't used to that good of food. Throughout the story, there are many rebel attacks, and the rebels are the people that defy the king and don't like how everything is, and they just come in and shoot people. So the queen, the prince, and the king and the girls have to go down into a bunker during the shootings. There was also a ton of soldiers in the story that help them so that way they survive in case there's a rebel attack. So they always have to go down to this bunker throughout the story, and maybe people die. I'm not going to tell you that. So you're going to have to read the book to find out if she wins the selection, if she's the one that Prince Maxen wants to marry, and what happens between her and Aspen. So you have to read that book to find out. My next favorite series is Harry Potter, and my favorite book out of the 7 books in the series is The Goblet of Fire. This is because it has a lot of action and drama, and I did not see the ending coming. It was just mind-blowing. So I'll explain to you what happens in the book. So Ron, Hermione, and Harry get Quidditch tickets to go to the Quidditch final. Quidditch is like a mix between soccer and basketball and all those sports, and they ride on brooms to score. So they get to go to that. So that's kind of special. And after the Quidditch match final, there's the dark mark that appears in the sky, and that is Voldemort's symbol. Dun dun dun. So, they don't know how it came up to the sky. They don't know if Voldemort is back or if he is alive or something. They don't know. So, they go to Hogwarts, and this is the time of the Triwizard Tournament. So, the Triwizard Tournament, if you do not know what it is 3 people out of 3 different wizarding schools have to compete against each other and do 3, you guessed it, 3 hard, difficult tasks that are like really impossible to complete if you are not in the age limit. Just saying. Because you have to be at least like 17 years old, and Harry is not 17 years old yet. So guess what happens? Instead of the 3 contestants, the Goblet of Fire chooses 4. That does not happen normally. And guess who the 4th person is? Harry Potter. He is not 17 yet, so he doesn't know any of the spells, like most of the spells that the higher people already know. So he's kind of like, oh crap, there's no way I'm gonna win this. Like, I don't know like any of these spells. I don't know what to, like, these people have so much more experience than me. So he gets chosen to compete in the 3 tasks. The first task is to kill a dragon. You have to find spells to kill a specific dragon. And of course, he gets the harder one to kill. And the rest of them, the contestants, do it a piece of cake. The second one is he has to breathe underwater. This one is hard because he has not learned the spells to do this yet. So he stays up all night in the library trying to figure out how to breathe underwater. And his friend Dobby, who's a house elf, helps him in the end so that he can breathe underwater. The last task the contestants have to complete is a maze. And Cedric Diggory and Harry Potter, the 2 contestants from Hogwarts, since there was 4 chosen from the Goblet of Fire, get to the center of the maze at the same time. Whoever reaches the center of the maze and touches the cup wins the Triwizard Tournament. They get there at the same time and touch the cup at the same exact time, but it's a port key, which takes them to Voldemort. He's rising again in the form of a different body. So, Harry has to kill Voldemort, but Cedric Diggory dies. Yes, I said that he dies, and it's so sad. So, Harry's left alone trying to kill Voldemort's form. So, you have to read the book to find out how the ending is. So, I'm not going to tell you. Also, something I forgot to mention in the Harry Potter summary was that Harry Potter gets a crush on Cho Chang. She is a beautiful girl from another one of the houses. But the twist is Cedric Diggory and Cho Chang are dating. And Cedric Diggory is one of the contestants. So if Harry wants to like get help from him, then he's gonna have to stop liking his girlfriend, pretty much. Also, another thing that happens in the book is Hermione catches Rita Skeeter. If you don't know who Rita Skeeter is, she is one of the reporters that reports from Hogwarts, but she is like evil. She twists everyone's words around and changes what people are saying to make it sound worse. So she's in the form of a beetle, and Hermione figures it out and catches her. She's in the form of a beetle because she's trying to spy on everyone in Hogwarts and get her information to write her reports. So that's it for this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I decided that I'm only going to make it my 4 top favorite book series so that this video doesn't drag on and on. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And stay tuned for next week's video. Bye! I like this book because so the last task the contestants have to complete. So my 3rd favorite series is The Selection. There are many books in this series, but my favorite is the first book called The Selection, which, yeah.